Hi, and welcome to the 102nd Hangout for Android Coliseum. We hit the button, and I really had to work hard to not say anything until I saw the live light come up. So we have quite the crew with us tonight. Martin is here,
Hey.
Ryan, Siobhan, and Tom,
Hey
and
guys.
me, Ms. Jessup. So we've been really active this week. There's been a lot of chat coming out of our website, so there's a lot to talk about tonight. And let's get started.
All right. So we're going to start. Yeah, we're going to start with Motorola. Motorola is bringing in the new metal Moto 360, so variation in the color, and it's going to be available to Canada shortly. And on top of that, they also brought the Moto 360 update for Android Wear with 5.0.2. So that's going to be interesting as soon as it pops on my watch, but not so far. And yes, watch, awesome. I can't say anything more than that because it's just awesome. Next thing in the news that we do have is the LG introduced the premium Urbane Android Wear smartwatch. It basically looks like a regular smartwatch, but more classy looking as the classic standard watch. But I think the touch function of the screen might actually be smaller. I think if I remember correctly, it was 1.42 inch of display in diameter. So I wasn't a fan of that, but it could be actually 1.3. Thank you very much. And I wasn't a fan of that one. So hopefully this will actually look good on LG. Maybe not. We'll see shortly once it's available to the public. And we'll skip over to another great thing that happened in the last couple of days. It's CTV became the first broadcaster in Canada to announce that you could actually use their app to Chromecast directly and see your stuff on TV from your device. So that was all for my bit of news. Wait, what? What's wrong with cats?
Okay, so remember, we're going to get to comment on this.
Oh, no, definitely. Did not even see the comment. There you go.
It's just funny. I know we had talked before. We do want to keep it short, but
I know, right?
go. So I have to say that your enthusiasm about the 360 certainly piqued my interest in it as well, and my interest in updating watches. The Urbane, I thought, looked really interesting to me because of the styling. It looked a little more formal. What do you think, Ryan? I see you have a comment there too.
Yeah, I mean, the Urbane was really looking nice, and that's I think what they're really looking for. It's going to be that stylish. People talking about making sure that it's going to style. What I really liked about the Urbane look, yes, it is smaller at 1.3 inches versus, for example, the G Watch R, which is I think 1.43, so slightly smaller. Not incredibly. Again, you can go to our databases page, databases.androidcoliseum.com, for all details and all the smartwatches we carry out there. But what I liked about the Urbane was the fact that on the G Watch R, there was that 360 sort of numbered display around, right? So when you normally get some watches,
Yeah, the etch.
they have that etched around the outside. So you have to sort of take that into account, whatever face you want to put on your watch. Whereas the 360 was you can put whatever you want on it. You don't have to worry about the outside. So I like that it was sort of plain Jane that it did that. So anyways, that was my thoughts on the Urbane. But
I thought it was a more formal look, sort of like what the Zen Watch has. And Siobhan has a comment on that.
I just want to comment that I don't know what the price will be, but if it's around 300 or more, I don't see how it's so much better than the Zen Watch. That's already very elegant, very easy to change the straps, etc. So I don't see the advantage. But some people just prefer a round face.
And I think that would be it. It would be just you'd have the round versus I think it gives that choice to people who want that nice classic look that the Zen Watch brings. And Tom, you have a comment as well?
Yeah, kind of going back to the little basics here. As you guys mentioned, being a round watch is definitely going to appeal more. Because if you look at all the themes on the Play Store, 80% or more are geared towards rounded watches. There's not so many for the squared kind. So, I mean, just that, in fact, is going to be pretty significant because, I mean, people are loving the Moto 360 because it is really beautiful and round, and I guess people like the round today.
Well, we'll have to see how that works out. And Martin did also mention CTV on the Chromecast. How many of you guys are going to take advantage of that?
I use it, which is kind of funny because people, when I wrote the article about CTV Go having an option, I put it on my phone and I put it on a tablet I had at work, and I put it on my tablet now when I got back to the house, and I started using it, and everybody's like, well, after reading the comments, like, well, you can't use it if you're not a Bell subscriber. I'm like, the only Bell thing I use is my cell phone, and that's on my tablet, and I'm on my Shaw Wi-Fi at home, and I could still use the app. The CTV,
I have you too.
So, I mean, it worked fine for me. I mean, the downside to it is that, I mean, they're going to get you in the advertising regardless if you watch it streaming or not, because to watch a show, like I wanted to watch an episode of Dragon's Den, there were 3 commercials right at the beginning you could not skip, and then every 10 minutes there was another minute commercial or something like that. So probably less than you would watch in a full TV show, but in the same sense, like, it was kind of annoying to go, all right, stream it, ready to end, go, end.
And I find they do that on Shaw as well. Like I have an on-demand where you can get TV, and it's the same thing. It's not as convenient as when you PVR it because you do have to watch the commercials. Well, on that, I don't see any more comments on that. Let's move on. We had a poll, and Ryan, you said you put a semi-naked woman in a shower app, and are surprised you got clicks and no replies.
I took a cue from Tom on this one. Tom.
Don't blame me.
Anyways, yes. So I was looking at addicting. I mean, Martin made a comment the other day about what. Siobhan's gone, but she'll be back, I'm sure.
Yeah, she will be.
Martin made a comment about a game he was playing, Easy RPG, I think it was, and how addicting it was, that game. And so I thought, what are the addicting things we do on our phone every day? Yeah, we do email. Yeah, we might do social media. But other games, other apps we have to use every day on our phone. Like, what is it that we have to do? Tom is saying stuff like music. It's an automatic. You have to put music on. I get out of the car, headphones are in. I'm even that 5-minute walk to my building. So I was kind of thinking, and yes, the picture I used was, well, when people who are addicted to their phone, they might use it in the shower. So I used that picture of somebody using their phone in the shower. So I asked people, what are the addicting things that they do on their phone? So Tom mentioned music. Cass, you're mentioning Feedly. Martin, what's something you use on your phone every day, besides the social media, besides email, besides browsing? Is there a game, like you said, Easy RPG?
I use Easy PC RPG, but I also use the one of the native function from the Z2, which allows me to share my phone directly on my network to all my other devices. So I can browse it from the PC. I can grab the tablet and have the content there. I can just go on the TV without going to the Chromecast and just grab content from there.
Okay. Siobhan, is there an app or game that you play every day?
Besides Google Plus, of course. And Instagram, I find that I got addicted to Instagram. It's definitely Ingress. I just, that's definitely an addiction because even if I don't want to play, I play. But when I'm home, I don't check obsessively. It's only if I'm out. If I'm home, it's mostly Instagram. I'm just obsessed with it. But I think that the reason that people didn't reply is that people are just addicted to their phones in general. So I
agree.
They choose, they click because that's me. I'm on my phone all the time. But then when they had to choose one app, they're like, no, it's everything. I just do so many things on my phone.
Yeah.
Well, if you cut out social too, like you said, you're on G Plus all the time. I know I am as well. What else is there?
Well, yeah, that's basically what I want to find out. What are the apps out there? What are people spending their time on besides browsing the internet, browsing G Plus or Twitter or Instagram or whatever they're doing these days? So I took a look at it. So I asked people this, and so some of the answers we got back, mostly the addicting parts of their phone that they were using every day. So there's something they would check every day. I mean, I answered Angry Bird Epics. I have to go and play that game every day because otherwise you get the little gold coins and they increase every day as long as you go every day. But a lot of the answers we got was Ingress. I mean, that was definitely the game everybody plays every day. If you're an Ingress player, you play that game every day. We've got a Clash of Clans answer. We got Fives. We got Hearthstone, Snap Attack, but primarily, like overwhelmingly, is Ingress. And I got to tell you, the people I know that play Ingress, they live Ingress, right? So that's. So, anyways, I thought it was kind of interesting, and I got some answers about why they play it every day and why they find it addictive. What is it about that game that they go back to it every day? I mean, obviously for Ingress we can sort of talk about that before, but it's interesting to sort of see some of the commonality themes between these different games and apps. So we'll look for an article in that next couple of days. All right, back to you, Cass.
Great. And we have Samsung seems to have been pretty quiet except for their upcoming thing. But I see that they have launched the Note Edge on Rogers, and I've heard that talk to people that have the Note Edge, and they think it's really cool. I remember when it first came out, people sort of poo-pooed the idea that you would even want the Edge. So Tom, you were going to talk about that.
Yeah, coming from a guy who's owned every single Samsung Note device. The Edge is the one I haven't actually owned, but I have played with it a bunch. And it's your typical Note 4, it's just it has that cool little edge on it. Our thoughts before were like, well, if you drop it, and then you're kind of still hitting the screen on it, going sideways, but that aside, it's basically more of an informational kind of thing, almost like a second status bar, if you will. And it's actually quite cool. It is essentially the direct competitor to the Nexus 6, and I have a love-hate relationship with Samsung. They have beautiful, brilliant phones. It's just sometimes the software needs to kind of tone down a bit, but other than that, they have great phones. But here's the kicker. Rogers has it available $399, $400 on a contract. Off contract, they're saying you save $500, which means they're valuing this phone at $899, $900. So you're in it $1,000 after tax. That is ridiculous. But you know what? The die-hard fans will still buy it. And I mean, this phone has all the latest hardware, and it's Samsung. It's your typical Note, just extra features that no one can offer. And I know, Cass, you're a huge, huge Samsung fan. So if you could get your hands on one of these, what were the features that you would be looking for in this?
Well, I'm not sure. I guess I would be looking at it for the second notification. I think if I had a phone big, I'm thinking that I would probably start ditching a tablet. Because I really think for that price, you would almost have to make that your main computer. But I'm really looking forward. Martin is going to be reviewing one. So, I mean, I'm really interested. I'll be trying out the Note 4, and Martin will have the Edge. So it'll be interesting to see what extra things and what we each think of that. Ryan, you have a comment?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that Edge it's got to be. It's interesting. It's novel. It's unique. I don't know how
practical.
Practical it's going to be. Yeah, it's going to be more novel than useful, right? So we have to say that lots of times. But I guess what's really going to be helpful for it is if there's a chance out there for the third-party developers to actually utilize that strip. You know, will Hangouts have a strip for that? Will other apps have an opportunity to use that strip, or is it just Samsung's only ecosystem? So I know they said they were opening it up, but I haven't really heard much buy-in yet. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there.
Well, I have talked to people who have the Edge, and they love it. So they're finding a use for like the Edge versus the Note. And let's wrap it up with a comment from Tom, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, so as Ryan was saying, the Edge, not sure how practical it would be and whether or not they're going to open it up to other developers. But picture it if you're holding it in landscape and you're playing Angry Birds Epic. You kind of have your health bar at the top, therefore freeing your screen without any little things there. That would be highly useful if developers take on to it. And we're talking about price, about being a little outrageous. I mean, you have $1,000 phone, or, speaking that Ryan's got this giant TV he's reviewing, I can buy a 40-inch, 42-inch smart TV, or I can buy this 5.6-inch phone. I mean, that's a lot of money we're talking about. But anyways, we've spent too much time on this. We can shove on to the next one.
Which is you again, talking about exposed
Yeah.
on Lollipop.
Okay, well, following the same lines of Samsung, exposed on Lollipop, originally not supporting ART. Well, they finally put it onto alpha, so it means they're just starting to get it working. And the reason why I tied to Samsung is because Samsung has a lot of great features, and exposed would help suppress some of the more annoying features, such as the full battery charge notification that we were actually talking about a little earlier. That when your phone's battery reaches 100%, it gives you a notification at 2 a.m. in the morning when you're sleeping. That was the thing I hated about Samsung phones. Anyways, back to the point. It was essentially it was developed for Lollipop, so you're gonna have to wait for other essentially add-ons to update for Lollipop as well, and then you have to wait for Exposed to become more stable. So you got two aspects we're all going to be waiting for, but for those diehard fans, it's there, it's ready, go give it a shot.
Okay. Are a lot of you guys still rooting?
No, I'm not personally.
I do.
Just for exposed, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
I just
Lollipop
wondered.
and how Android has matured. I don't feel there's a need to root anymore. They've given us everything that we ever rooted for, in my opinion.
Well, it'll be interesting now that Exposed is coming, is deciding to update to Lollipop. We'll see what other people do with it too.
Mhm.
So speaking of things people do, Siobhan, you're talking about the Oppo.
Yeah, this week something really exciting happened. The Oppo camera is known to be amazing, and this week it was ported to be used on the OnePlus One ColorOS camera of Oppo. So now it can be installed as a regular app onto the OnePlus with Cyanogen. So that's quite exciting because the camera is really, really amazing. It adds a lot of features. The app was ported and also the add-ons. So I don't have the OnePlus. I have the Oppo N3 and the Find 7. So I'm excited about it because I like the camera and I'm happy that others are enjoying it. My friends that do have the OnePlus tried it and loved it. It's still a bit buggy, but just the option of another camera app is and a good one is exciting for OnePlus owners.
Well, that's cool.
I'm going to finish my review about the N3 hopefully by the end of the week, and I'll be explaining more about the camera and the features and what it has to offer.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking
Sorry,
forward to
yeah.
that.
My lower third disappearing. It disappeared 3 times already, so I'm not.
You have to hold up the cardboard.
So it's me. And,
Ryan, you had a comment?
Yeah, I just reading up about what the features that that Oppo, the ColorOS camera, had was really cool. I mean, it would be really interesting to see whether or not they decide if it can be installed, side-loaded onto other devices besides just that. I mean,
some
like
people
Google.
said it worked for them on Samsung phones running CM.
But
I
it can
tried.
run outside of CM. Do you think it could, if I could install it on my LG or?
It's really a hit and miss. For most people it didn't work. For some people it did work. For me, it didn't fully work on other phones with CM. But maybe, you know, it just came out on Valentine's Day. I'm sure they'll work on it more, and hopefully it will be ready for other phones in the future. I hope it is.
Who is that?
Um,
Somebody just beamed up or something? We all stopped.
Just you were talking about cool features, and today when I was writing my review, I was playing with features that I actually didn't use before, and they have some really cool ones, like take a picture, focus later, and I don't know how it works, but it's like magic. You can touch wherever, and it focuses on that part of the picture. It's really cool.
Well, I have to say that the camera quality really does affect my decision to purchase, and I think that's why I was so disappointed with the Sony, because I went for like what seemed like was going to be a good camera, and so I'm hoping Lollipop improves it.
I
But
want
it's good that
camera. Although the specs are best in my Find 7, but I love the rotating camera. I like the features. I like the quality.
And that's important, like the quality, because that's what I liked about my S4. And I'm hoping to get that with the Note 4, is just that pickup. You do an automatic, and maybe you have to do some tint adjustment for snow shots, but that's it. Otherwise, you get a great shot.
Right.
And I really miss that, and I'm glad that you have that. And if you get a camera where you can have some better, more features with it, that sounds really cool. I just find the Sony camera too annoying to even try doing the other features.
That's unfortunate.
It's just a shame. Anyways, any more comments about the camera and about Oppo? Anything?
I'll comment about the camera. I'm defending Sony here.
I'm not saying you know what? It's not the sensor. It's just whatever they did, and maybe it'll get better. Go right ahead.
Oh no, I pretty much had the Z2 and played with the Z3, and I love the camera. The time shift bursts was awesome. But I mean, I guess with every phone, it's not for everyone. But I would say in Cass's case, maybe it was the user. So that's up to you guys.
With the good camera, every user is a photographer.
Anyways, that's my defense, and I'm sticking to it.
Let's move on. So, VLC gets Chromecast.
Yes, so VLC, everybody loves Videolan. That's been one of the go-to video players on your computer, now it's full-fledged on your Android device. So now it's going to be getting Chromecast. Well, it's going to be getting Chromecast. In 3.0, they posted, since it's open source, they posted the changelog on a GitRehab or whatever GitHub thing. And in 3.0, it mentioned specifically how there's options there for the Chromecasting. So I'm just interested to see, like, hey, this is going to be awesome for those of you that have videos on your device that you would like to then send to your TV. But I just don't I'm not sure how that's going to work with, because like you don't talk directly to the Chromecast, right? Like when you Chromecast, you actually send a comment to Chromecast to get a video from the web. So technically, VLC might have to send your video to a temporary URL or something, or I'm not sure how that's supposed to work. So I mean, it was interesting to see what happens or comes out of it, because I mean, Chromecast is just awesome. Who doesn't love Chromecast? Like even my father-in-law has now figured out Chromecast and is buying Google Play gift cards so he can buy and watch episodes. So it'd be very cool to see more things getting Chromecast and getting that. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I have to say at our house Fred casts from his computer. He casts YouTube from his computer to the TV. So, we're using it in ways that certainly hadn't thought of before. Siobhan, you have a comment?
Yes, I'm very excited about it because I actually do watch a lot of movies on my phone files, and I'm just curious if these movies can be streamed to the Chromecast, or like Ryan said, I wonder how that will work. but I did a David Lynch marathon, and because I have an SD card on my Find 7, my husband kept loading all the movies for me. And when Ryan posted about Bill C last time, I started using it, and I actually prefer it to any other app. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably try doing that as well, because I have one, and I do like to watch big things instead of little things. Our last topic tonight is actually, I think, kind of breaking news about Pebble. Ryan, you were going to talk about that.
Yeah, so for those of you who have Pebble, and to be honest with you, I mean, yes, we have a few of our readers out there who have Pebble. I know Rob, Blake, and Riney. I don't know if Riney's online right now. I know Rob is. Have been using Pebble, and they really liked it. I've only ever seen one other person ever with a Pebble device. But anyways, Pebble just recently got their 2.92 update, which allowed it now to start tapping into Android Wear, which basically allows it to sort of tap into that notification system and let them do things like, being able to reply to Hangouts, or, they showcased, I think it was WhatsApp or something like that online, and some other app that had where you can send, money with one of the money app. But so certain things you can do on Wear, you could do. Now, I mean, obviously, certain things you may not be able to because, with a Chromecast or Android Wear, we're very used to going, okay, Google, what's the population of Paris, and being able to do that. And you can't talk into a Pebble, right? And I don't think Pebble has a touch screen either, so you have to. It's very limited to what they can and can't do. But I mean, very cool to see them move into that space of being able to tap into what everybody says is the failing smartwatch out there. Oh, only 700,000 sold. What a fail.
I have, just to go off topic there a little bit about that. Like, everybody that sees my Fit, now that Apple has said they're going to do a watch, even though they haven't got one out yet, people are, oh, is that a digital watch? And I'm sure that seeing my Gear Fit and the things I can do with it, they will go buy an Apple Watch because, so I don't. What can you say? Just everybody wants something. Tom, you have a comment?
Yeah, it's essentially what I put in the chat. It's just. And Ryan's right. Pebble's so limited. It's touch. It's a not touch screen. It's buttons on the side where you navigate up and down. It's cool that they are going into the Android Wear kind of idea, but as I made the comment, it's just it's like BlackBerry using Android. It's very limited. It's just bad. But at least people who are still stuck with a Pebble got something more coming. Pebble was good years ago, but today's standards, it's so far behind. I know some people will probably argue and disagree with me, and that's totally cool. It's just I'm in the whole touchscreen era, and that's just my personality. So it really does come to a personal preference. Just I think Pebble's so far gone.
I think touch is important, especially for small things. Now that we're used to it with phones, like, it just seems weird to even think of not touching. So, Siobhan, you have we'll take your thing and wrap it up.
No, what you said before about people asking you about your phone, about your watch. It happens to me all the time. Everywhere people are asking me about the watch, and they're very enthusiastic. So I think people want smartwatches. They all think it's super cool. It's just that they don't really know a lot about it. They don't know where to get it, what it does. So I think it's a matter of marketing, and maybe Google doesn't do it well enough because everybody's asking me if it's an iWatch, although it didn't come out yet. Although I don't know what it does. I don't know what it will have on it. If it will last more than 3 hours. And also,
and will it be garish with all those little icons on it?
Yeah,
God. And they're making 5 million of them. 5 million.
I know. And they will sell.
Oh, absolutely, they will.
And the voice on the watch is very useful. I do homework with my son, and we keep asking the watch questions. I don't need to grab my phone. He needs to see a picture. We load it up to the watch. Today we did a project. We needed to know at what year 2001: Space Odyssey came on, was released. Right, to watch. It's very useful.
And that's the thing that I am looking forward to from, the step up, now that I know how handy my Fit is, because until the Fit, I'd had a Sony watch, smartwatch, and it didn't just do it for me. So, I think baby steps, we're getting very close, very, very close between bigger phones and then having the watch. I think we're getting to that cusp where we're going to tip over soon. Soon as Apple brings out their watch.
Oh, Apple Watch.
Yes.
And you know what? One of the comments they made on TV when I was watching one of the live coverage about the production of the Apple Watches is they plan on selling 5 million in one day.
Oh, and they probably will. So
I'd like to see them try.
I don't
So
really
many
care.
people will buy it just because it's Apple.
Not
I'm
at
sure
the
they will.
Not at the price tag they were talking about, though.
It's probably going to be a great product. Apple does have
Yeah.
some solid products.
I think it'll probably be almost as good as the Zen watch.
Probably. I can see them grossly overpricing it, though. I'm expecting $399, if not higher.
$350.
Oh, they were calling $699, Tom.
Oh my God.
Really?
Well, I
Yeah,
think
same-
on that
same price as
stunning note
They
that
were
we should
calling
wrap
it
it
the same
up.
price as the phone.
Yep.
Same
Let's
price as
wrap
the
it
phone.
up.
Yep.
So, we do have some reviews out now on the site. Martin's just happy about his 360, so read about that. He got some new earbuds, so he's done a review on that. Let's see, Brian has a TV. I will be getting the the Note and the Gear S. I also ordered some JLab
Oh, you found the
Bluetooth headset, Bluetooth stereo headset. So I'll do a review on that. Savon's going to have the N3 coming soon. We got a Note Edge under review. We got tons of stuff going on. So, check back with us next week. I checked the site. Tom's done that awesome cut the cable series. So, we're back. We're excited. I hope you're excited too. So let's say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Right,
Good
take
night.
care.
Good night.
Bye.
Joining us.
Have a great week.